and then it pulls out of that computer to another layer of the simulated thems from the simulation of them, discussing whether or not they're in a simulation.
We're going to start the episode off with
from Unison.
A little bit of just out of this world content from the gents over at Duck Sauce. Are you guys familiar?
That sounds familiar.
I've heard
they do
of
like
such
YouTube
things.
poops, yeah?
Dude, they did like Big Bad Wolf and stuff like back in the day. I haven't heard a lot from them lately, but a friend sent me this video not very long ago, and just feast your eyes on this, me boys. right, some noticeable or notable fucking incredible bits about that piece of content. The first thing that got me was the fact that all of the B-roll club shots still had like the fucking Shutterstock like overlay or like Pond 5 overlay or whatever. Like shamelessly ripped. Okay, so first of all, what was the fallout from that? Like, did they not get called and like fucking sued or some shit? Like, how does that?
I mean, what if you just buy the license, but then you're like, can I have the water tag version?
Right, like, is it like okay for them to like use the watermark? Because at that point, it's like free advertising. They like understand that if someone's going to use the one that they, in air quotes, tried, that it just like, well, they look like an ass clown doing that, so we're fine with it. Like, is that what happens? Like, what is the deal there?
I mean, yeah, what is the deal there?
What?
That
I don't
movie
know.
feels
Don't-
so many
What's up with
things.
that?
I don't know. I wouldn't, get, too far up an infinite loop of assholes, trying to figure that piece out.
It got pretty brutal with the assholes at the end there. Like,
It was like mildly disturbing when you would travel through the asshole and be in a new setting, but it was a bit more disturbing when you stayed in the asshole and Vin Diesel or whoever was in the asshole, and then you went in his asshole in the asshole.
asshole section.
That was a little, just seeing the asshole walls was like
also
a little too much, man.
their
But quality concept.
their recap of like simulation theory, and I was like, it's at a pace at which you could read, and then all of a sudden it just like speeds up to a pace that you can't read. And obviously, I'm a researcher of this stuff, so when I saw that was happening, I was like, someone's typed this up for me somewhere. I didn't have to look that far; it was in the comments. But basically, it goes over the whole theory of how in 500 years there's computers that will be powerful enough to run simulations of so many equations so quickly that we can run simultaneous simulations of the universe and the Big Bang Theory up to the point that we are now, and billions of possibilities. And then we'd analyze the data, right? And so people are hypothesizing that we actually are one of those simulations that are running because, we haven't caught up to the point at which computers could do that yet, right? But like that's basically the gist of the theory. But then they go on to expand upon the fact that it's pointless to worry about such things because even if it is a simulation and you think we're going to get unplugged at some point, you don't know when we'll be unplugged and you don't know when the simulation will end. So to worry about you being in a simulation devalues the experience of your simulation anyways. So why don't you just enjoy your simulation while you're going through it, which is, and I mean, it goes way more in depth than that even, but like, I thought it was so fucking hilarious that there was a well-rounded commentary of psychological aspects as relates to this complex crackpot theory. And they just stick that into this lowbrow, like hilarious music video that they made. Like, what?
I love
yeah.
I love the layeredness of the simulation theory even before they start discussing it, where they're like, it's clearly a simulated club, and then it gets, breaks the fourth wall and gets meta by pulling back and showing them researching things on Google, deep into Wikipedia, and then actually in Premiere cutting everything together. And so it shows them making the video, and then it pulls out of that computer to another layer of the simulated thems from the simulation of them, discussing whether or not they're in a simulation with none other than James Bond and the voice of God.
I didn't even fucking think about this. You're so right. Like, they literally were explaining what's happening to them as if it's not, and like hypothesizing about the fact that it's not. It's pointless to worry about being in a simulation in which the characters that are telling this story are in a simulation.
Just like we discussed 2 seconds ago.
That is so good. Can someone
Simception.
Someone needs to do a pull out of this episode right now into a non-simulated version of what we're doing, and then I could finally know whether I'm in a simulation or not.
Well, will I get to meet Morgan Freeman in this scenario?
Possibly.
The
He might also
simulation
be,
is yours, my friend.
he might also be DJ.
Am I already Morgan Freeman? In a way, aren't we all already Morgan Freeman? No, we're not. Moving on.
Hey, speak for yourself. But also, it's worth noting that the term human music came from the simulation as well.
That is very true. You know, a Zygerian simulation to be precise.
Yes.
So if you're ever worried that you're being watched by the Zygerians, just remember, folks, just take off all your clothes and then discuss it with your people.
Can't bear to look at male genitalia. It's just icky for them. They just don't. They don't want to look at that.
But do not, under any circumstances, let them get your recipe for concentrated dark matter. It's
But
unacceptable.
if you want to fuck them up, just hold a free concert for everyone that in which you are going to rap about your new single called Concentrated Dark Matter and the recipe therein. And then when the crowd shows up, have them do a bunch of complicated, complex movements so that you can glitch the simulation, and then you'll know for sure. Because then you have the end of the simulation. And
I have a theory that the Rip Kenny worldwide tour will break the simulation once this whole pandemic thing's out, you know?
Ideally.
Yeah.
Ideally.
I like how our reaction video to a video about a simulation became a delayed action reaction video to a TV show about a simulation that gave this podcast its name. If we get any more meta, we're going to have Dan Harmon direct this whole thing.
And welcome to the show, Dan.
Oh, and on that note, smash that like button so we can get Dan Harmon on the show and
Dan,
favorite the podcast. Dan.
Yeah, just tweet at Dan Harmon to get him to come on our show. That will either result in Dan Harmon coming on the show or us getting shut down completely. And we're willing to roll those dice.
Guys, who's Dan Harmon?
The one of the creators
of Rick and Morty.
Oh,
of the world.
That's so funny because I always remember Justin Rowland. I forget who the other guy is. I'm sorry, Dan. Dan, I don't.
Now he's not coming. You should have fanboyed out more.
Smash that like button.
Hey, which one of them made that other one that you guys like?
It was Dan.
Solar Opposites.
Solar Opposites.
No, Solar Opposites is Justin
Dan
Rowland.
made Solar Opposites.
No, he did. No, Justin Rowland did Solar Opposites. Dan Harmon did Community. And a bunch of other stuff.
Justin Rowland, Solar Opposites is average. Dan, you're clearly the creative genius behind Rick and Morty, and I profusely apologize for only remembering your compatriot's name. Please don't shun me.
Solar Opposites is awesome. Evan is mistaken. Make sure to go support that so that we get 100 episodes. SolarOpposites.com.
You know what?
And leave a comment how you liked it.
Let's ask the audience here. Do you guys think that Solar Opposites is approaching as good as Rick and Morty, or is it watchable and Rick and Morty is all time?
Yes. Let us know in the comments. And on that note,
I like it. What's up, humans? It's Luke, your friendly neighborhood trap Jesus. Thanks so much for watching the podcast, checking out our videos. We truly appreciate you. So, Rip Kenny, Tesco, and myself got you a gift. We made you a free sample pack. It's got basses, it's got FX, it's got crazy percussion and Foley sounds, and it's free. It's all yours. Just click the link in the description below. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe, hit that like button, and share this with your friends. We appreciate you. Peace out and peace among worlds.